Right. Welcome to Overwatch, and welcome to another episode of Probing the Many. Today, we are going to talk about, I've just noticed this, how to Hanzo main. Always, oh god, I can't read it. Remember, no, there's a nice picture of hands on it though. Unfortunately, it can't be read. The camera's too focused on Jonathan's handsome face. Look at him there, ready to explain something, as we are right now. Hey, Ku, as well.
To Overwatch.
Always during the goddamn intro, without fail. These go on YouTube sometimes, when I'm up for it. Anyway, this one probably will, for very good reasons. Anyway, yeah, we're going to be talking about, as I hit the microphone, we're going to be talking about Seoul versus London. Now, this was a surprise between Seoul versus London. It wasn't a surprise in that London won, necessarily. I think a lot of people were expecting London to maybe win it. Had a slight edge is what I would say going into this, although Seoul looked a little bit stronger throughout the season, so like it's kind of like this could have gone either way. And then what turned out to happen, spoiler alert, if you're watching this and you haven't already seen the series, you're fucked up already, go and watch the actual series. Spoiler alert though, London absolutely smashed. And we're going to go in here and we're going to try and figure out why. What happened? How did London do this? How's this happened? What's become of Seoul? Now, there's a couple of things as we sort of go into this, as I'll sort of just jump us forward a little bit. Interesting slide. A couple of things that people sort of brought up. First and foremost, people bring up that Seoul are going to not be playing one of their star players, one of their key star players, which is Ryu Jae-hong. They're not playing Jae-hong for a reason. We don't actually know a specific reason about why they're not playing Jae-hong. They're going to be playing a player called Guido. We haven't seen too much from him, but what Zoe came out and said halfway through is the only reasoning we kind of got. So halfway through the series, Zoe tends to go out into the dugout and talk to the coaches about like something that's been happening. And it's like, okay, so why aren't you playing Jae-hong? And they said that in scrims, Guido does better. Now, there's also one or two small facets to this, which is that Seoul tweeted about, I think it's like 2 hours before the game began, that they would be playing Jae-hong at Spitfire. So Spitfire were expecting that. The other cool thing, and like this is just another sort of minor tidbit before we go into the series, is that before the series even began, before the series was playing through, Bishop, the coach for London Spitfire, had already submitted all 3 transfer sheets for London Spitfire, those sheets, substitution sheets rather, for London Spitfire, meaning that if basically, if they want to submit someone, or they want to change players between rounds, they have to submit a document saying, hey, we want to change these 2 players, and then that goes through whatever the administration pathway is. London Spitfire had already submitted all of their changes beforehand, so they came into this with a very clear plan, a very, very clear game plan of what they want to be doing and how they want to be doing it. That's very interesting, just as a decision, because it means that even regardless of, like, if one player is playing and he looks like garbage, they've already submitted. They can't change, I imagine, who they're going to be changing in and out. So, or if like one player is just on fire, they're not going to be playing around that. They are playing to a game plan, a specific game plan, which is always interesting to me. I've barely watched any Overwatch League. I've found it hard to keep up with as well. Like, you're not alone in that, and I think a lot of people kind of have that issue. I tend to, like, I had it on most of this afternoon. I called up on BUSTIN versus Valiant this afternoon, in particular, and I was just sort of watching that for most of this afternoon. It's very hard, though, because, like, as an analyst and as someone who wants to get into casting, I want to follow the games as closely as possible, but I also want to keep an eye on stuff like Beat Invitational was earlier on today as well, where Fusion University were playing. Yeah, there's too much to sort of follow easily, so you got to like pick and choose your battles. Like, I didn't watch Spitfire versus Shanghai, for example. Just felt it would be pointless. Anyway, interesting team comp coming out from Spitfire. Interesting sort of player base as well. Rascal and Birdring coming back out. Good to see Rascal and Birdring again. Wu Yao. Oh, excuse me, as well, coming out. Yeah, Pharmacy coming in. Reminder to anyone confused as well, this is played on the previous patch. If you don't watch most Overwatch leagues, all of Stage 1 is played on the previous Mercy is Good patch. Meanwhile, Seoul Dynasty, double sniper with Ana and Widow. The Ana's sort of become steadily sort of more popular, I would say, on this map. She generally has a lot of good functionality. No Soldier 76. It's interesting to see Fleta come out with the Widow. Maybe they're expecting the Pharah. You normally see a Soldier just to provide some extra strength, especially with the Ana. The sort of combination between Healing Field and Biotic Grenade is so powerful. It makes it really, really hard to sort of get a good dive on. And yeah, this is slightly unorthodox, but this is pretty standard, I'd say, for Pharahs coming in, like just going for a more slow pokey dive. And this is one of the things that people commented on a lot, which is that London normally play a very, very fast, very aggressive dive style. And that during the series, they were playing a slower style and more focus on the tanks. And you'll see this quite a lot, and like I've been learning to play Tracer recently, and I remember saying to Ryan the other day that watching the Overwatch League made me realize something, and this series kind of already has a good example of it, which is just how good Tracer is at killing tanks. So this first push is kind of a good example of it. You'll see stuff like this happen quite a lot, where it's like they get onto Miro, Miro drops down. Where the Winston goes is usually a good sign of like what the dive's objective is, so they just want to get some pressure out here, get some presence up here. Birdring coming up here is also a little bit different, when you normally see the Tracer go underneath and go all the way around and get ready to get onto the supports. Instead they want to occupy this side of the map, have Rascal fly around, and then just rain rockets in from above. But of course if Fled is on that Widowmaker, that's going to make that difficult. So basically they get into position, then the tanks sort of come in for a counter dive. So Seoul just goes in for a counter dive, manages to get onto Rascal, but notice that the focus instantly shifts onto Zumba. And you'll see Korean teams do this a lot, and you see teams in general do this quite a lot, where it's like they try and bait tanks in to do things, and then they'll just put so much pressure and so much DPS on the tanks all of a sudden that they'll just explode them. Getting that pick on Zumba though is super nice, because now Zumba has to either throw himself off, or he has to try and manually build it. It looks like he's trying to manually build it. Maybe it would have worked better if he just threw himself off, because now they are playing against a pharmacy without a diva. That's scary. That's very, very scary. So now basically Spitfire can go in doing more aggressive dives. They know that there's no diva there to sort of stop them. Hey, Bunny's been spotted out on the point as well. They can go and, not Bunny, Zumba's been spotted out, although they don't actually go and pressure him. Fleder gets a beautiful pick. And it looks like it's going Soul's way at the moment. Nothing too much to panic about for Soul so far. Zumba should be able to get his mech back now. Bit of a missed opportunity, I'd say. Hey! You sub as well. Robastian, welcome. It's good to have you on board. So that was kind of interesting, seeing that push. Like, you would expect London to win this one. Like, you should have clear line of sight. You should have clear objectives. It just felt like they were a bit hesitant to pull the trigger, and this is sort of speaks to London's game plan overall, which is London is normally a very aggressive team. They normally, especially with like Birdring and Prophet, they'll usually play very, very aggro dives. Here they're playing a lot more careful. Like, notice that they don't follow these two into this tunnel. They absolutely could have and probably still won that fight, but they just play it more carefully and just sort of a bit slower than they normally do. And it just feels like, especially on this push, like Zumba almost dies, doesn't quite die, which bit interesting. Bit interesting that they didn't manage to get Zumba. Like, he's definitely a high priority target for them. Toby just survives, barely. Seems to be okay. Hey, Lord of the Flies as well. Welcome. It's good to have you on board. You've been around for a while. It's appreciated. So now there's an interesting situation that's arising. It's so-so at the moment. Hagopen especially is a little bit behind on ultimates, I'd say. Like 60% is a bit behind where he wants to be, so he clearly hasn't managed to get many shots in. I'd say he's probably got generated most of that through healing. I'd be surprised if he's managed to land too many shots as Zen. One of the big things also I'm noticing, just like looking at Charges, I think Bunny used a bomb, so it's okay. I'm not going to go double check that. Infrasight just makes it really hard. It's interesting to see that they're staying on the fire as well against this team comp. Like, staying on fire against Anna and Widow, that's bold. They've got a plan, though. They're going to execute it. Notice that they haven't really ever taken the direct dive. Like, this is more... Even that's not really the direct dive. Like, normally, if I just sort of stop it about here, normally you would see this, like, this combo here, just go straight for where Fled is standing now. Like, that's sort of the standard dive on Numbani. They normally go right where sort of my body's floating now. There's a cool little tactic that I really do want to spend a little bit of time on at some point, just like make a 2-minute video or something, which I call the Diva Spike. Because you'll see Winstons jump in, and you'll see Divas, who are normally staying on the ground, rocket up and then just bump the Winston and just knock him a little bit out the way. And so what you'll see them do normally is, like, Winston will take this pathway, the Diva will come in and then hit him like this, and then he'll get knocked this way. So he won't be able to land on the supports. He'll either land like over here, or he might land where the Diva is now, but he's not landing on any crucial targets, so they're not getting that 50 damage burst. And I think that's just like a really cool little thing, just to mitigate some damage, reposition the Winston how you want, and it's just a nice bit of predictive play. Instead, London don't really seem to be opting for that. Instead, they're trying to just muscle onto the point. Birdring's just managed to find an angle, gets a beauty of a bomb in. Nano Boost does go off though, because hey, and it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because this is Valkyrie meta, so Birdring spends ages setting up a flank, lands a beauty of a pulse bomb, doesn't matter, it gets rezzed. What? Wooya with a sweet ass bomb though, and that's probably enough to swing it. I'm very interested on this Farah choice and like them staying on it. Now, that's very interesting to me. They're still doing a good job. Like, I haven't watched this series back. I watched it live because I was kind of, I was excited to see it. These are two of the best teams in the league. I think everyone was excited to see it. So I was curious to see how it was going to go, and it was like, okay. Like, this is about what you would expect between London and Seoul. It's very, very close. Killer Rabbit. Bunny leads the league's tracers in hero damage, but also is leading all players on this map on hero damage. So Bunny's been doing good work so far. I know my head's blocking it, so I'll try and read those when they pop up. Those are done by a guy called Captain Planet, who's been doing statistics for Overwatch for absolutely ages. And it's good to see him getting so much done. Again, I love the part, like, just very small, minor thing, but I love seeing it. So when I do coaching the many on Tracer, sometimes people ask, how often should you prioritize sticking divas and stuff? And like, this is where pro level games are kind of interesting, because you can sort of take lessons away from them, which is that Birdring just sticks Zumba. Just whacks the pulse bomb on him. Blinks behind, pulse bomb on, tank deleted straight away. Doesn't go in for the backline, doesn't go for Toby, doesn't do anything fancy with it, just goes for the easy stick, gets rid of the target, easy limb. Gets Zumba out of mech, and now they can just clean up Zumba, no problem, at some point. Like, that to me is a very interesting little thing to take away, because it probably tells you, hey, in these big team fights, if you have a bomb, just whack it on a tank and just killing them is well worth it. If you can hit the tank, hit the tank. Just use it. Luckily, like, this is okay for London Spitfire. They still have Hagapen on the high ground at the back. He's shooting away. He's fine. They still have Closer. They're okay. And this is the bomb from Wuyao. It's just a good bomb. Toby barely survives, but does manage to survive. Nice. So because Seoul went to contest, they don't have a smooth first to second. It means that London will get a good distance through. I like how paranoid Birdring is, although I think he could probably do some of that with a Venom Mine, but he is playing very carefully. Like, they're just very aware. They don't know where Bunny is, so they're just being very careful. Opts not to take the jump shot. And again, just this is like a very, very slow comp. I like the fact that they transitioned away from the Farah here as well. It's just a little bit too open, doesn't quite work as well. This shot is just ridiculous. Like, I have to slow it down, because it's like you don't even get to see the enemy Widowmaker. You don't see Flatter. Like, I was watching this and I was just like, I didn't even see Flatter. And I'm a spectator, and it's like... Jesus. It might be because it is, like, the skin, and so it's like camouflage. But holy shit, that shot was beautiful. Poetry in motion. It doesn't help that Birdring's camera blocks it off, but there he is. Like, this should be Fledder's shot. Fledder should be able to win this one-on-one. But gets him. Amazingly good. That opens up so much space now for London, especially because if Bunny is in the backline, just putting pressure on Birdring, that means that the payload is completely safe. It means that Rascal can kind of move where he wants. Unfortunately, Bunny does start getting results, so Bunny seems to be doing okay on this map. Looks good, but it's like one Tracer isn't enough to shut down all the stuff that's happening at the moment, and that's going to be sort of problematic. Fled is now back in. Birdring misses a couple of shots, which is unfortunate, but the payload's still moving forward, and crucially the payload hasn't really stopped. Birdring's in an okay position, but now sort of badly out of position, because hey, Seoul can just push in. London give it the ghost, but managed to get some good results. They do know that Transcendence is available, so they're going to have to play around the Trance. They have Infrasight, but Infrasight's on both sides as well.
Welcome to Overwatch.
Ooh, that seems like an error. Hey, Red Droid X. Thank you. So remember what I was saying about London playing carefully? This isn't playing carefully. Just a little bit sort of overly greedy here. It's a bit of a shame. No, thank you, Red Droid. It's appreciated. So they have Infrasight, but they can't really do anything on it. Infrasight's up from both sides, so no matter what happens, this is dangerous. They both know they're there. Zumba just goes in, puts pressure on it. Again, just being paranoid about Bunny. Hagapen ults first, I think? Nope, Guido ults first. Why does Guido ult? They just ult to initiate. Hagapen just counter ults. Ulting second here is a huge advantage because, hey, your team is just going to wait it out. And now Rascal should just be able to end this fight. Oh! If they can clear like some space for Rascal, he should just be able to end this. It's a good play by Zumba. Getting a lot of value. Again, just seems reluctant to pull the trigger. It feels like the Widowmaker just isn't paying off for Birdring at all. Like, he got a really good first kill, but he hasn't really managed to do anything with it since. Seoul's tanks have also been playing nice and aggressive. Miro and Zumba just constantly seem to be holding the corner and pressing into them every single time London are trying to do something. Like, Miro and Zumba have just been pretty much on fire. Like, they're constantly getting value. Rascal activates ult, Closer activates his. I mean, sorry, Toby activates his, so any kills from the Visor could be shut down and nullified, especially because tanks are still alive and still up and still active. And like this looks like what you would expect between Seoul and London, right? It's like it's a pretty close match. It's all coming down to some very fine margins. It's kind of good players on both sides, maybe occasional like slip-ups here and there. The big thing so far is that London Spitfire's successes have generally come off the back of killing off Seoul's tanks. Seoul's successes have generally come off the back of killing London's supports. We still managed to pull through and win this fight. I put that probably on, like, the fact that London just changed to a brawlier team comp. Like, if the fight just devolves into this kind of situation, especially around a corner with a lot of cover like this, I imagine Fledder's having a hard time just getting any good shots going. And then you've got to try and like out DPS a soldier and a tracer and try and kill them, those two. That's going to be difficult. So like the combined DPS of Birdring and Rascal is probably high enough to get just enough done. Well, if Fledder just can't find an angle or can't find a shot, if the tanks are covering properly, then that Widow is just going to be... And there we go. Instantly see them start setting up to change. By the looks of things, I don't know, looks like they're backing up just to clean up Bunny. So they're going to set Birdring to chase him. Birdring gets the kill. Okay. Rascal changes once again. See, this I like. I like this sort of stuff. I like it when you see tanks just instantaneously change up. So yeah, all like London have plans. This is cool to see. It's like, hey, so now we're starting on Numbani third. Okay, ditch Winston, ditch the soldier, ditch the diva. We're going to be playing this comp now, and we're just going to slowly march forward, taking up space. It's not the smoothest transition in the world because you are like conceding a lot of ultimate advantage, but it also means that like when playing for second, this team knows that they can just throw these ultimates away if they have them. They know that they can use Diva Bomb, Visor, or Primal Rage willy-nilly because they know that they're going to be swapping for next point. And even Birdring changing as well. Zumba could be demeched here, not quite. Very close. I'm actually going to go back very quickly. I want to see if Birdring's change came after Fletter's. I imagine it did. So Fletter changes to McCree. Birdring changes to McCree. Okay, and now Fletter's going to change. I was curious to see if the Birdring swap was a response to Fletter's or if it was something else, or if they just wanted the McCree. The reason why is because if they had Tracer here, this comp would have no good answer to Pharah, so Soul swapping to Pharah seems like an intelligent move. But now it's like, okay, it's got the pre-baked in sort of anti-dive with some hit scan. Feels good. This is going to be really punishing on Soul's tanks. Like, if Soul's tanks mess up, then there's going to be problems. Fledder gets one shot. Roadhog is a fair and balanced hero. Fair and balanced like Fox News. Oh. They do manage to get closer. Is it closer or closer? I need to ask Sty. Like this is a brutal team comp to like try and fight into. And I think like the sudden just massive tempo change from London is going to throw any team off as well. Like this is just going to be weird to suddenly see a team that was relatively somewhat aggro, like just relatively divey and fairly aggressive in its playstyle, suddenly go to this very, very sort of turtley, sort of hold the point comp. So that looked right. I've said this several times, but that looked like what you would expect, right? Now shit's gonna get weird. Now shit's gonna get crazy. Also, actually, while we're on this screen, people are still hung up. A lot of people are still out there are still hung up on the fact that London Spitfire is made up of a team of Koreans, 12 Koreans in total. I would think that perhaps you'd be past that by now. I think the pronunciation acceptable. I know either pronunciation is acceptable. They're two separate words. You are either closer to something, or you are a closer, as in you close deals, or you are a door closer. I don't know. I don't know which one the Korean is going for, however. But yeah, some people are still very hung up on London Spitfire being a team of Koreans. Personally, I got past that months ago, but I'm perhaps used to it in esports. Yeah, it is what it is in my mind. To me, London, like, I support London Spitfire because A, yeah, sure, like the British link helps, but B, they are just a really good, exciting team of good, exciting players, and that is an interesting team to be fans of. And it's like, to me, the London part just gives me an extra excuse to get excited and go, hey, yeah, they're my team. But I'm not sort of like, oh man, it sucks that they're not all British players and at the bottom of the league. Like, that to me is... I would rather have this situation where it is 12 Koreans on the top of the league than a team forced with 6 British players that are on the bottom of the league. Which probably wouldn't happen, but you get the idea, right? So, just quick glance at team comps. Interesting to note, no Tracer on London Spitfire, instead of playing Rascal. Rascal is... If you ever want to a player that embodies the idea of playing weird heroes at weird situations, Rascal is it. Or as I would say in normal conversation, Rascal. Rascal is an oddball, and will play oddball heroes. The Junkrat here isn't too oddball, but it's still kind of oddball, considering London Spitfire are not running any Tracer at all, which is not standard. Seoul Dynasty, meanwhile, running standard with Pharmacy. So you might see them do a very similar rollout to what London did. Set up on the back line, go for some poke. Hope Birdring doesn't assassinate people. So let's see. So they're just going to go in through the front door. And again, instant pressure on Miro. Instantaneous pressure on Miro. So you will also see on Numbani sometimes, if teams aren't playing like an aggressive dive, what you'll see sometimes is teams take it very, very slowly on this first point, where they'll sort of, you'll especially see the tanks like poke back and forth in this space. And they'll just sort of go forward, take some damage, and then back off. That's to let the supports build up ultimate charges. Crucially, they want to try and build up a Valkyrie as quickly as possible, so they're taking damage to build up an ult to get Valkyrie quickly, and then they're going to try and win off the back of a fast Valkyrie. The danger of this kind of pokey behavior is if you are out of position, then this is going to happen. And if you take it too slow, that's a very, very likely outcome. It's a good start from Flatter, though. That said, it's much more likely, I think... actually, no, it might not be much more likely. I think Toby... get one... Yeah, they both just res this. But they've, like, London just cleaned up the tanks immediately afterwards, seized the opportunity. So also they seemed to panic and engage, and then just got cleaned up. World Cup doesn't start till summer? Yeah, World Cup's a long way away. World Cup will start after the Overwatch League is done. I've been a bit surprised with how little time Rascal's played. Yes, so was I. I might know some of the reasoning behind it. There was rumors that he was sick as well. So this is an interesting change. I call this boomboxing it, but it kind of isn't anymore. So Seoul have changed to a mono support comp. Sort of out of nowhere, and this is like a nice little ambush, if you ask me. Where it's like, and surely London knows. Surely London, like Hagapen must be pressing tab and go, hey, they have a soldier now. Yeah, they see this coming. I like the fact that he just counts it out as well. So he sees grenades coming in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably a 6th grenade, but maybe he's holding on to it. Just advances forward, knows that he can't get one shot anymore. It's just Hagapen here on his own. Hagapen is just dead. No way he wins that. And now this is like a really good position. I don't know why Guido drops down here. I hate the fact that he drops down here. This is all going well for Seoul. All going extremely well for Seoul. They have Valkyrie up and running. Notice that Guido drops down, then runs back up, and then, yeah, just, maybe he's scared of the Widowmaker, I guess? He's scared of Birdering? Must be scared of Birdering. So he's just going to set up down here. And then he just goes right back up there, though. Oh, because you can see where Birdring is, okay. It's hard to see on the bit rate. It's a good push from Seoul, and then I could not believe this. I was thinking, oh no, what are you doing? What are you doing? How do you not get caught by that trap? I don't know either. I thought he was going to get caught by it for sure as well. But this was just like, London, no, why? You're just giving them ultimates. Gesture, no. Oh god. Oh no. So Gesture goes in, uses Primal Rage, Closer uses his ult. Tyre comes in, kills a tank. And it's like, have they actually managed to sort of get back to this? Surely not. And I think Seoul were just as confused, because you notice that, like, Fled been holding on to this barrage. Bunny eventually uses Bomb, but it's already kind of too late, and London have already repositioned themselves. 98.2%. And they bring it back. And do you want to know where I think the biggest mistake was? I think it was just not respecting this retake enough, and I think Fleder just needed to press Q at some point and just delete one of the tanks, but that never happened. Like, Fleder could have just ended this ages ago. And then just Rascal comes back and just kills him. The thing to know is that Jesse got his ult after diving, and Jesse was going to get his ult no matter what. He was on like 95%, I think. It was okay. Like, he was safe doing that. Yeah, he's on 94, like 93, 94, 95%. Engages, gets a little bit of left click damage, mashes Q, survives. One team has Valkyrie, the other one doesn't. That's a pretty big advantage. I think one of the big things to note is that Guido dies just before he gets his ult off as well. But to me, the biggest thing is that Fleder died with Barrage here. And to me, it's strange because, like, after seeing London Spitfire go through on second phase and Barney and just instantaneously swap off the fire, which I think is an intelligent decision anyway, especially if you're playing against a Widowmaker, why hold on to the Barrage? Why not just dump it and make it safe? Like, surely I would be shocked if they keep Guido on Soldier 76 as well for phase 2. So it just seems a bit strange to me. But yeah, 98.2%, and they actually bring it back. Like, you don't see stuff like that very often. So I imagine some of it was just Seoul just like not expecting it, but now it's scary. Because now you also are playing with a single support. Support ultimates are now coming along for Spitfire, and now they can start rotating support ultimates. Fleder drops Justice, but dies instantaneously. I think he just did it into a barrier. Like, we don't get to see where Fleder was, but... And again, tanks getting focused. Gesture manages to find Toby. Just use Transcendence, no problem. And like, they're completely safe. Once this trance goes off, it's fine. And you can see that now, suddenly, it's like it's 30 seconds left on the clock, and Seoul are just changing onto these heroes now. Crucially, Rascal has 80% on the ultimate. Riptire is excessively dangerous. Will make a big difference here. Having Bunny in the backline is nice because it does mean that like Birdring is constantly playing as a paranoid as hell player. This is where, by the way, picture-in-picture would be extremely useful. I would love to be able to see Bunny's perspective and what Bunny's up to. So Dive goes in for the backline, you see the D.Va spike. Winston jumps in. You'll see a D.Va just try and catch him. Tanks dive towards the back line. Getting that Genji is quite big because it means that nothing's going to follow him, so you can use this ult. And C9, lol. Jojo, hey, welcome. It's appreciated. C9, lol. Not really C9 though, just trying to win the fight. I'm curious to see, yeah, Hagapen dies as well. So it's like the tanks dive the back line. Meanwhile, London Spitfire just stay on the point, fight whatever's in front of them, kill whatever's in front of them, and then no one actually got on the point. And even if they did, there was gonna be a Riptire there to kill them. And suddenly everyone's just like, hang, that doesn't happen often. First point hold on Numbani. Like, it sometimes does, but it's not. Especially between two relatively even teams, that's not really the result you would expect. And you think, like, well, Seoul looked pretty good on the first half. Why did that go so badly? And again, I think it's just like a little bit of just overconfidence. And like, if you watched Coach of the Many yesterday, you heard me talk about the idea of ultimates as like an analogy with poker, where you are just trying to guess with any team fight, just trying to guess how much the team is trying to put in, right? If the team is up in the ante, then you might have to as well. You're betting what they've got. If they just keep putting more and more and more stuff in, you're going, maybe we need to commit more. And in that instance, London just started committing more and more and more resources to the retake. They went full in. They went all in on the retake. Seoul didn't go all in response, and they lose the hand. Because, for some reason, Fleder held onto a barrage when you have two tanks diving onto the point that you could have just instantaneously killed. And I'd be very curious to hear, like, if there was a good reason to hold on to that barrage. Aside from, we didn't think they would go that hard for it.
Welcome to Overwatch, mon chéri.
It's Tracy because then you have to use trans.
Home hype, home hype.
Thank you, Swiss Booty, as well. That's 8 ohm hypes. Beautiful. Beautiful. 1 month to the stream, Bab. I've got too many of these stream, Babs. Man, that sounds terrible. That makes it sound like I want people to unsub. I think this is when Hexagram starts asking, by the way, I love the golden ice. Don't eat yellow snow, kids. I think this is when Hex is asking for suggestions for the name of the May lift, the May elevator. But yeah. The May elevator, it's an awkward one. Pay no attention to Spitfire's comp. Actually, for now, I don't know why I've paused it here, because honestly there's no point, because these are going to change. Spoiler alert, Toby is not going to be playing Lucio instead of Mercy. And spoiler alert, yeah, Fleder is not going to be playing May, as interesting as that would be. So this is relatively standard. Standard as standard could be, almost. Interesting to see that Bunny is the one on the Widowmaker while Fletcher is on the Junkrat. That's kind of an interesting choice.
Welcome to Overwatch.
Considering how good Fletcher's been.
Thanks for the cool content.
You are more than welcome. Redat3108, thanks for the cool sub. Oh, 24 times profits, apparently. Profit leads the league in elimination rates with 24.29 per 10 minutes. Oh! Pine is the only other player with more than 23. Let me turn this way. That's a good statistic. Somebody wanted the Orisa plus hog combo to be called pulled pork. Pulled pork is good. Ball and chain is still pretty catchy though. I like ball and chain. Because the nice thing about ball and chain is it has like the right mental imagery as well. Because there's a ball and then it like pulls you in. So it really, to me, like the visual metaphor works really nicely with the nickname. So London Spitfire opting for dive. Like, this is a difficult comp to dive. The big thing that I would try and pay attention to, like with these dives, to me, like the biggest thing that I would try and keep an eye on is where the Zenyatta is. Sometimes you'll see the Zenyatta be up here, sometimes you'll see him be on the opposite side. It's probably more common with the Junkrat comps that he's on the opposite side, because what you do is you just send Junkrat over, and you can just spam through that pathway if necessary. Makes it very, very difficult. So we've got the Genji going around, we've got Prophet sneaking around. Important to mention Prophet's on board now, Prophet's playing. So now if they want, they can have Junkrat come through here, start spamming. Beautiful shot from Bunny. That's it, doesn't matter. This is, like, this would happen, like, even now. Like, the res just comes through. Oh god, Twitch player, please, please. Super speed now. My question is, like, where is the Junkrat? I'm guessing he's behind, like, where we are now. He must be just down the stairs slightly. Because Prophet just finds him and just kills him. What? This is steadily, like, Seoul is looking okay here. They're still in a good position. They still have a lot of damage out there. Haven't really been broken yet. Should be feeling okay. Toby did go down, which is kind of rough, but I think so did Closer, or Closer had to just back off. So Closer hasn't really had a chance to get any advantage. Flood is building a lot of ultimate charge, though probably want a little bit more at this point. But he did die nice and early, so hey. That's so rough trying to jump into that. And oh no, oh no-y. Oh god, like, this dive is just so difficult. Like, that's just, it's just a really nice defensive comp for from Seoul. Hey, where the fuck is Guido? Is Guido just Guido? I don't know. He's just on the ground somewhere? Because he can't actually get up here, but yeah. Like, this is just nice from Fleder, just, no you don't. You ain't going nowhere, son. And then just Genji just, whoop, oh shit, I don't want to be here. Yeah. Oh, there he is, he's down there, okay. He's staying safe just behind the team a little bit. He can't get up here anymore. Beautifully done by Fleder. Clinical. Clinical. But like this is all going to Seoul's game plan at the moment, right? They're playing an anti-dive comp, London Spitfire playing dive into it. It's going well. It's going pretty well. They did have to use their ults, so they did commit. Why did they commit? Maybe they're feeling a little bit burned after the last one. Last time they undercommitted ultimate, so they lost, so now Toby feels the need. Guido dies, so Closer just brings it back. No, not Closer, sorry, Toby brings him back. I just saw Mercy on the kill feed and just read the name like an idiot. So just a little bit antsy out of Seoul. This might, and the big thing here, and the nice thing for London Spitfire, is that they did manage to get Miro off the high ground. So now Seoul cannot hold high ground. They have to hold that sort of middle ground. It is much harder to hold against dive. That's a good start though. Time to wait another 20 seconds for London. I'll try and get a res off, but it's always risky with Widowmaker. Bunny playing nice and carefully. Just wants to be sure that they're not going to get dove. Best course of action for Seoul this push is that they get a Riptire off at in good time. So you can see dive goes in, Fleder just pulls back instantaneously. Dive goes even deeper, gets onto the Widowmaker. Both DPSs now are a little bit pressured. Meanwhile, Prophet's still finding kills. Notice that London aren't going for typical dive targets. And this is sort of, I think, this is what a lot of people are talking about when London's playing not super aggressive. Gesture goes in, sure, Gesture goes in balls deep. So it's like, oh, well, both DPS are back here. So Gesture just goes in all the way to the back line. Takes a shitload of damage. Toby's pulled back to support the DPS. And you would expect to see, like, Prophet, and you'd expect to see Wu Yal turn up here, just to go and try and get a kill on these guys, because, like, you dive the Widowmaker, for example, you can dive the Junkrat, especially if the Winston's leading the charge. He's already absorbed all the damage. Sure, Prophet can get in and do stuff here. Instead, what's happening on the front line is Miro's actually getting focused. Suddenly Miro ends up dead. Prophet dies, not the biggest deal in the world, because hey, Closer still has res, so now Prophet's back in the fight. Has ult if he needs it. Mercy can stay up nice and high, as long as people stay spread, and crucially, Guido has now used Trance. Prophet's died again. Closer. Picks him back up. Unfortunately, he dies again. He dies a third time. Welcome to the Mercy meta. He had Dragon Blade, he could have just taken it out and killed everyone at that point. Still probably in a good position because one team had Mercy Res, the other one didn't. Guido used his ultimate a little bit too early. I'm actually curious to go back and see, is there a trigger? So the thing that I always look for when I see supports use their ultimates is like, what is the trick? What is the cause for the support to use their ultimate? Like, Miro's already dead. Did Miro die when Guido's... Like, the other important question now to ask is, did Miro die while Guido had his support ult? This is going back, isn't it? No, it's just repeating the same clip over and over again. Come on. Come on, Twitch player. Nope. Come on, Twitch player, please. Okay. Forward, forward. Yeah. Guy still has ult. Miro still died. Forward. There we go. Engage happens. All I'm doing is watching this top part. Guy goes onto the back line. Waiting, 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 waiting. Focus quickly shifts to Miro. Bongo gets used, but just Prophet takes it out instantaneously. Still holding on to this ultimate. See how many people are focused on him? Like now just to go back to the point where it was re-looping over and over and over again. Look at the amount of people on him. They just picked a target. And like this is a weird thing to see because they are playing, like I've talked about sort of playstyles in the past, like there's sort of 4 different ways of playing Overwatch. They are playing Rushdown with a dive comp. So they just rush, they like literally just got D.Va, Genji and Tracer onto the Orisa and just blew her the F up and just annihilated her. And then Guido ults after the Orisa's already dead, but during this time Closer has activated his ultimate. It's very, very difficult to get rid of London Spitfire at this point. They keep throwing resources at Prophet. They keep Prophet pinned back, but hey, Prophet's okay. He keeps getting rezzed up, and eventually they throw in everything and the kitchen sink on it at him, killed him 3 times in one fight, and then just ran out of juice. And also Hagapen did use his ultimate as well. It's worth mentioning. This was sick from Hagapen. This, like, one of the most ideal situations in Overwatch is when the enemy team is running into you, but running away from a target. So you'll notice everyone here is just backpedaling into the Zenyatta. And he's just there just blendering people. Now, of course, Prophet knows that he's got an open path, so he's just going to take it. Unfortunately, Toby didn't, like, they actually didn't have an open path. Toby has managed to build up an ultimate. Prophet draws Dragon Blade, all gets rezzed, feels bad, man. Prophet dies. Does Prophet change now? They went for a snowball. Snowball didn't work. There we go. Junkrat comes out. No problem. Junkrat, Reaper. That is a scary team. That is a lot of damage. Hagapen gets destroyed on the way in and gets picked back up. So they're going to go through the underground. This is dangerous, considering they're playing into a Junkrat. Like, Flatter can easily just kill everyone here. So I'm kind of... Yeah, I'm curious to see, like, is the Riptide going to be coming out? There it is. A little bit late. Goes for Reaper, and... Like, that's such a mistake. That feels like such an error. And like the casters hype this up, Mr. X mentions this, it's like, oh my god, what reactions? Birdring can hear this coming. Like, you can hear this Riptide coming for you a mile away, and then the split second he saw it, he's just mashing shift, and he's okay. Wraithborn doesn't have a lag on activation. I think the moment you press the button is the moment it activates, so as long as you just spot the, hey, the Riptide is coming very close to me for some reason, you'll be okay. Merciel gets used. This is, like, cheeky as fuck, and I love it. Let me cough. Watch Birdring. I spotted this, I was like, where the fuck is he going? Birdring teleports, and you can see Bunny's, like, looking for it. He looks up here, because you expect Reaper to be teleporting up here. He actually, I think, goes, like, over here, where the Winston is. There he is. So he teleports just clean across the point. That's just really unfortunate. Bunny then just throws the bomb in desperation. Seems like a panic maneuver. Oh god, I'm stuck. Oh god, I gotta throw the bomb. Now that this team is fighting on the point and like ultimates have burned through, this team comp is unbeatable. Like Reaper Junkrat trying to just retake into that without ultimates is going to be impossible. Like, it's so difficult. Now Death Blossom's there. I think that this might be a little bit of an overcommit by Birdring, but it works out. I think... Actually, no. I take that back. because they know they surely, or at least they're guessing, they're estimating that, hey, Toby probably has Valkyrie, so we're going to need to shut that down. So like we're going to need to blow Mercy up, and Bertring's like, okay, I'll just wait for him by one of the spawn doors, and then the second I see Mercy come through, okay, ult. Doesn't quite get him low enough, but sets him up low enough for Gesture to finish him off. To me, the biggest missed opportunity in this isn't even the fight on the point, though. To me, the biggest missed opportunity in this happened during the approach. As I try and use Twitch's janky-ass player. Like, this is such a dangerous route to take. When the enemy team is playing a Junkrat, if the Junkrat is just spamming through the doorway, like, that's going to make it very, very difficult to push through. You have to commit your defense matrix, or you're going to have to use the Winston bubble just to break out. But instead, like, Fleta waits until now to peel back out of line of sight and goes all the way back, all the way out of line of sight, then ults, and by the time he's got the ultimate off, London are already on the point. We upload this to YouTube? Yes. A bunch of stuff should be going on YouTube by tomorrow. Some Coaching the Many, and then this will come on probably tomorrow? Not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. But to me, like, that's just such a... Like, that just felt so delayed and so late. And then maybe you could put some pressure on to Guido now. It's like, Guido kind of has to... He's holding on to this ult for dear life. It's okay now, it's okay now. Valk's been used, like, now's the time. Now is surely the time that Guido ults, but he doesn't. And that's confusing to me. He still hasn't ulted, now he's ulted. And to me it's like, what are you waiting for, Guido? What's your go signal here? Because this fight's already kind of on the edge. Remember that weird poker analogy? It's not quite an accurate poker analogy, but it's like London are, you know, okay, it's tilting towards Seoul. Like the balance is tilting towards Seoul. Guido's got a good kill, Prophet's dead. Diva Bomb gets committed. That's some resources, that's some chips thrown in by London Spitfire. Closer activates his ults. That's a big bet in. That's London going, okay, we want to win on this push. Like, you don't use that ultimate. If you want to win on next push, you would just go dive Guido as hard as possible, try and get the Transcendence out, and then you would just commit Valkyrie. To me, like, this going unanswered is huge. Because it takes so long for any resources to come out of Seoul to try and counter the Valkyrie. Still hasn't come through. Hagapen's now committed his Transcendence. Like, they've put 2 support ultimates in this. Guido's now put his 1 in. But even after Hagapen's ult is done, Valkyrie's still running. Like, this is why Valkyrie was nerfed, kids. Because Valkyrie's still... Like, Hagapen ulted midway through Valkyrie, and Valkyrie's still running afterwards. That much healing on this team just means that this team survives and wins. Reportedly, Close's ult tracking is bananas during Apex. Yeah, that was one of the cool statistics. They actually, like, specifically train him, and to me it's such a cool idea as well of, like, tracking how close he is, and, like, you know, Closer at this point in the game, what ults do they have? How charged are they? And then, like, measuring that against how charged they actually are. I used to do that when we were doing UK scrims. When teams would make calls, and I would try and point out after them, it's like, yeah, you were dead certain that so-and-so held ult. He didn't at that point. Just trying to, like, keep track of the bigger issue we had with UK scrims was that just getting the ult calls going in general, though. So how did Miro die with ults? Some burst damage, I'm assuming. No, Miro was ulted. Yeah, Miro had ult. It's just, how did Miro die with ult? Reaper, Junkrat. That's 1,000 hit points is nothing to those two. Absolutely nothing. Unless you mean an earlier ult. Again, burst damage, or he was suspecting that his Zenyatta was going to use Transcendence and he would survive. So London, minute of the start of the fight, he dies without ulting. Happens. You get slapped with a Reaper shotgun, that's 300 damage. Like, Reaper can do a lot of damage to a Winston in a single blow if he gets a good shot on you. That was interesting. I just want to highlight this, just a small thing, but kind of cool. Zimba goes out, absorbs some fire, but no, Miro goes up. Just to have a quick look. If Miro gets shot, like, it's okay. He'll survive it. Think they... Is that when they change? Yeah, and then they just change instantly to Anna. Interesting. That's so interesting. So something about this team comp makes them want to run Anna. I mean, if they can get... it could be because they're defending on the low ground. If Anna can find an angle and just get a heal grenade on this, it's kind of done. And it is possible, it's doable, it's just very difficult. That's... ugh. Welcome to Junkrat, kids. Bomb explodes. Lol, Bunny's dead. Res is used. Engage goes in, Miro is just dead instantly. Like, Miro had no cover during that push. That's just that's like a discorded... That's a discorded Winston, so shave 33% of his health off. And then just diving into Orisa, Junkrat, Diva. Speaking of Anubis, I was watching Dallas earlier today as well, because I didn't get to see that because I was streaming at the time. Holy shit, Dallas, please. Just, like, anyone that dies to the Orisa Roadhog combo due to the pull and you have a Diva on your team, just, like, please, any coach out there, just sit your Diva player down and just have them fucking eat Orisa balls all day. Okay, this looks better. Like, that first push felt just really badly organized. Now, hey, Zimba's actually taking some space. Miro's had to use his bubble early. No one's really taking any damage. London's just playing defensively. Miro's jumped in, has no barrier, I think, at this point. Tanks, like, Diva comes back even. So Wuya's just gone and peeled for Birdring. Prophet just aggressively uses the tire. It's fine. Catches Toby as well with the res. And that's that done. Do you think there should be more changes to Junkrat? I'd like to see this patch roll out for a little while longer. I think probably not at this point. Maybe a change. Like, one change I wouldn't mind seeing is during his ultimate, if Junkrat dies, the tire just detonates. I would like to see that change because I think it adds some counterplay to it, or at least more counterplay. It means that the Junkrat just has to be a bit more careful. It doesn't make sense to me. This is a very, very cool Zenyatta position. You'll see Jonak uses this position as well. Just very, very safe. Remember I was talking about when during Coaching the Many yesterday with Zenyatta's, where you want a position where you can just fire orbs through, nice and safe. He's literally, like, the play symbol is literally blocking where the Zen's firing because it's right in the middle of the screen. But he can basically tuck back here, reload in this spot, and then come back out and fire another shot. It's a really, really cool little position. Also notice what I commented on yesterday as well, which is don't just right-click and fire, right-click, fire, right-click, fire, right-click, reload, fire. That way you don't end up running out of balls. Positioning even further back. Again, very, very cautious positioning. Seoul also taking it really, really slow. Birdring uses Visor. That's going to make it even harder. Now London can afford to reposition themselves because they know exactly what's happening. Birdring even going to play more aggressively. It's an interesting decision. Backs off. Takes a moment. Like, notice how scared, like, well, not scared, but defensive position. Like, he had sights up, and yeah, he's still positioning. He just doesn't want Bunny to get a pick. He's just waiting for anything to shoot. Something crosses his scope. He's going to try and put a bullet on it. Fleda crosses his scope. He puts a bullet on it. Zimba demeched instantly again. Notice that the tanks are just getting shredded. Like, Widowmaker isn't even a part of this. Seoul are basically fighting 5 versus 6, but because Seoul seem to be, like, overcomplicating their dive, like, compare this to what London were doing, right? London just picked the Orisa, and, well, they didn't even pick the Orisa. They just sent Gesture into the backline, and then 3 people just jumped Orisa. They just jumped the first target they saw. Meanwhile, Seoul seemed to, like, where's Fleda going? He seems to be going for a walk, going miles all the way around the houses, gets into the backline, and by that time, the tanks are already dead. Very, very different playstyles. What do you think the reasoning is for Seoul swapping to the Widow? If the Widow is fighting from here, Bunny can get a pick on him. So basically, like, if the barrier is down here, Widowmaker is not covered behind them. So if they can cover Birdring a little, if they can cover, they can cover Bunny a little bit, then Bunny can either get to here, just fire a shot through, kill the Widow, or he can get set up here, fire a shot through, kill the Widow. And if that happens, if Widow gets set up here, it's very difficult for Spitfire to win, because what they'd have to do is they'd have to send Wu Yao to go up there, Seoul's tanks peel back, kill Wu Yao, and then Widow's got free reign and just full control. And during all that time, Fleder would have killed everyone. So now they're doing what London were doing more. If they break this barrier, that's huge. There we go. They break the barrier. Good. I just, like, this is just for you guys' benefit on ladder. Please do this. If your team is fighting and drops a Diva Bomb and there is a Winston bubble, especially a cracked Winston bubble, just tunnel damage into this goddamn thing. You'd be surprised the amount of times people will, like, just go, oh, well, there's a Winston bubble in the way. I'm fine. And it's like 300 hit points. That's so easy for your team to shred. Get rid of it. That could have very likely killed Miro. Like in a ladder game, especially in like gold and platinum, that would have killed like 4 people. So yeah. Break barriers. This is juicy. Oh my god. This is... oh, that's... Oh, hello, Toby. Oh no, Toby. He's Valked as well. But he can't... The thing is, he can't... Yeah. Mr. X hit the fucking nail on the head. This is good casting by Mr. X. This is the narrative point you want. Like, Toby can't touch him. Because if Toby goes in and tries to res that, Prophet's just going to left click, bomb, done. And like, I know he doesn't have a bomb right now, but Toby can't make that assumption. If Toby goes in there and dies, he's just fucking done. Dragon Blade comes out. No counter for it. This is where you expect big kills to come through. Big kills not coming through. Closer picks up the one person that died, I think, as well. Just very, very defensive play. Hagapen is getting away with murder at the moment. Should not be getting away with this. This just feels, again, like a little bit disorganized by Seoul. Like, Hagapen is a high priority target during this fight. But they're just having a really hard time getting to him. Like, he's so low at the moment. And they just can't finish him off. That's crucial because Hagapen still hasn't ulted, so there's a good chance he builds up his ult during this fight. If this fight goes too long, Transcendence will come out. Transcendence comes out. There we go. And now what the fuck can Seoul do? How can one man fight against such reckless healing? Zumba's trying, bless him. And now there's just 3 tank busters left on the point, fighting 2 tanks. That feels pretty good for London. There we go. So just, again, to highlight the differences in this Anubis, Dynasty started out with an over-focus on DPS. London started out with a high focus on killing tanks. London's tank focus really paid off for them. Had a tough time on first point first couple of times. Managed to get Miro off the high ground. When Miro got knocked off the high ground, they just completely tunneled onto the Orisa. Killed the Orisa as quickly as possible. And then from there started winning. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Roadhog's voice actor. It's nice to see him. I haven't seen too much of Roadhog's voice actor. I like the fact that he has like a Viking beard. I appreciate the Viking beard. We won because we played Busan, who matched up really well against them. Yeah, like Swissbudio says, they actually cycle players every single map. Almost everybody played in this series. It's kind of crazy. Really crazy. Just to highlight the point, hey, Hurag and Fury are back in. Hurag, Fury, Nus, Bedosin, all in. One of the cool things London has set up, because they have 12 players and they can basically field 2 teams, and it looks like they've been cycling and mixing and matching the teams a little bit more, though not a huge amount. They set up the practice room to be able to do like in-house scrims against each other, which is really nice, because they do have 2 teams worth of players. Top 3 players in hero damage rate are all Seoul Dynasty players. So, okay, I've got to turn this way so you guys can see. The illest of Ilios trio. I don't know whether this is just for Ilios, or I imagine it's not. I imagine that's just overall, assuming how this reads. The top 3 players in hero damage rate are all Seoul Dynasty. See if they can keep that up. Spoiler, we know how this ends. So, 2 very different team comps. Very, very different team comps. Though Toby's going to be... No, Toby's staying on the Lucio. Nice. I'm actually happy with that. Yeah, makes sense. Toby plays a fucking sick Lucio. Can't wait for Sage 2. Hopefully Toby's going to be playing a lot more Lucio. Toby's Lucio is disgusting. Right. So very, very different team comps. More or less typical out of London. The McCree may be a little bit irregular, but bringing him out. Meanwhile, Fleda on the Pharah. Definitely want Fleda on this map just for the Widowmaker skills. Interesting, yeah, by the way, interesting to see that Spitfire aren't playing Birdering for the Widow, potentially. Like, I don't know the statistics between London Spitfire's players, but I imagine Birdering might have the better Widow. We'll see. I imagine someone at Overwatch League has that statistic, and that annoys me. Again, just very conservative positioning. Like this is a team comp that can just blow up a tank again. They're A-OK doing that. They have Zenyatta for it. McCree can do it pretty well. Playing pretty conservatively indoors. Nurse is in a lot of trouble. There we go, goes down. Feels bad, man. This fight is done. How to donate? I have a challenge. Feel free to just state the challenge. You don't have to donate to do so. Watched Prophet stream the other day and his Widow is surprisingly good. I wouldn't say surprising. I don't think Prophet can play this game badly. I don't think Prophet can play any FPS badly. That's just disgusting and that shouldn't be allowed to happen. Yeah, it's just... Widow's stuck in a bad position now. Feels bad, man. No change-ups from London Spitfire, so... Still running with this team comp. Notice that Fleda... Like, I want to highlight how Fleda's positioning. So I say with Pharah, like, you want to generally be a very aware of cover. The other thing you can do is if you read into what the enemy team is running, in this case Hureg on McCree, if the Pharah stays up high enough, the McCree isn't really a threat. The McCree's not going to be doing too much damage, especially if you do have the Pocket Mercy, until McCree gets Deadeye. When McCree gets Deadeye, you're going to see Fleda drop down lower or hang around cover more, because if he's up here, and McCree activates Deadeye, he's going, like, Pharah's dead. But for now, Fleda is fine, just flying super high and just raining in rockets by the bucket load. I have a challenge to donate to a random streamer. That's an interesting challenge. It's all beneath the stream if you want to. It's up to you. It'll be appreciated, but by no means do you have to. Let's see. So again, moving through low ground. I think that was a whiffed pulse bomb from Bunny. Feels bad, man. So pulse bomb goes on to nothing. That just misses Hureg. Meanwhile, pulse bomb from Prophet goes on Miro, chunks Miro. No follow up, unfortunately. That kind of sucks. Do manage to spot at Toby, kill Toby. Zumba's second to die. And there we go. Like, London are just playing... It's just, like, conservative. There's nothing really fancy about what they're doing. There's nothing really special about it. They're just playing in this... Like, they're not going super aggressive on the point. They're just waiting for an opportunity and then just capitalizing on it. So they clearly found Toby, kill Toby, no problem. And there we go. They're just, like, again, just very conservative positioning undercover as well, just to avoid the Pharah. Tanks engaged, they pull back. tanks focus themselves. Very, very heavy focus onto Hureg. McCree always going to be a good dive target. Barrage gets used to kill him. Interesting to see the Transcendence come out first. That is a little bit unique. Nuss then activates his ultimate, reses him. So basically teams do a 1-for-1 trade, but then Valkyries bring everyone back up. Crucially, BUSTIN has used his ultimate, Toby has not, so this is a big opportunity for Seoul. Assuming Seoul can just do this well enough and get a couple of kills in. BUSTIN goes down, Nuss picks him back up. Lol, Mercy. Okay, the Valkyrie's done. Okay, Sound Barrier has been used. What the hell did Sound Barrier hit? Most of the team? It's good enough. No kills during the Sound Barrier, however. See, Bunny dies during the Sound Barrier. Regrouping on the point, taking the time. Like, they know that they don't have a team for it. Like, they don't have the team to just go and hunt down people, especially if the enemy's running a Lucio. So, like, why bother? London just staying together, staying on the point, or near the point, or in the gazebo area, I like to call it, where they're just undercover as well. They can't get shot by the Pharah, can't get spammed by the Pharah. Like, Fled has built up another ultimate, but super conservative. Looks like BUSTIN right clicks Bunny, wouldn't surprise me. I mean, Tracer versus Zenyatta anyway, like, that's half of what happens. This is what we in Team UK called maggoting. This is also what people say in Counter-Strike, check your corners. Check your friggin' corners, Zimba. Hey, Zimba goes through, everyone goes through. Look, oh, hello, Pulse Bomb. Notice he doesn't do anything stupid, or, well, let's not say stupid. Doesn't do anything fancy, doesn't wait for Toby or Guido or anyone to come through. Instantly just sticks Miro. Tries to get the follow-up on Miro. Gets the follow-up on Miro. And during this time as well, Zimba's getting drilled. Like, the people taking damage here are the tanks. Isn't that strange? Don't you think that's a bit strange? Nuss has activated Valkyrie because they know that if they win this fight, they win. So, again, London throwing in the chips, saying, hey, bet you can't match us. Try and match this. We're up in the ante a little bit. And it's a big advantage, by the way, to be playing when the enemy team is, like, desperately trying to run onto a point. It's a huge advantage. So they could bring it back here. Maybe Nuss overcommitted. Maybe we don't know how this match ended. Maybe we all got it wrong. Maybe the 2-0 was a mass hallucination. Oh no, wait, there's BUSTIN. Ooh. That's so close. That's so close. Very close on both sides. Nuss keeping it stalled. They are on 99%. It's the fact that London are still committing things to this that's kind of interesting to me. Like, the fact that Fury uses his ultimate, to me, is very surprising. Because, like, conventional logic at this point is that you let this go. Because chances of winning this fight are so low that even committing ultimates to this, it just seems foolhardy. Gets a kill. Even remax, and then fight keeps on going. Fury's actually, like, still fighting. Again, bomb straight away onto Zimba. Just unstoppable aggression on tanks. Like, something happened to London where they just friggin' hate tanks. This must feel so weird for the tanks of Seoul, because they must feel so squishy and vulnerable. First 2 people dead in this fight, again, tanks. Every single time. London just going, yeah, we're just going to kill your tanks over and over and over again. That's going to be so disorienting. And then just primal raging Winston just, oh, hi there. It's like Seoul had no killer instinct. It's not that. It's the target, like, London were just going for whatever they could find. The moment a target appeared, and the targets were inevitably first going to be the tanks, because that's what tanks do, they lead the charge, they just went for the tanks straight away. While Seoul were probably going, okay, well, we probably want to be on, you know, we want to focus down the supports more, we want to get a lot of work done on the supports and kill the supports as much as possible. But it's just this very, very methodical playstyle out of London, where they're just like, yeah, no, engage, because... Or, like, you know, Tracer's building up pulse bombs. She's not doing anything fancy with them. She's sticking Winston or Diva. Like, if you go through this series and sort of count how many pulse bombs were stuck on tanks, it's probably every single one so far, it feels like. Like, they never have gone for pulse bombs on anything but tanks. They're just abusing the ability for a pulse bomb to nearly one-shot a tank and then just capitalizing on the kills on it time and time and time again. But now, oh boy, here we are. Welcome to Ruins. One of my favourite maps because, I goddamn love watching pro Widowmakers. Like, juicy. Like watching this is just like always on the edge of your seats. So this is the position, by the way, you'll see Widowmakers occupy when the enemy Widowmaker is alive. When they're feeling a little bit bolder, that's when they'll push out. The reason why they occupy that position is it's very hard for the enemy Widow to get a good angle on you without being very vulnerable or being spotted out. So you stay there and you get still a pretty good view of the point. Easy setup. The only downside is you're a little bit close, so you are diveable, but there's a large hit point pack behind you, so you should be okay. The other thing I'll mention is that it's very, very tactical. Like you'll notice that Fleder holds his fire for a little while here. You can fire off a couple more shots, but the moment that either of these Widowmakers fire a shot, it's sort of telling the enemy team, okay, that's exactly where they are. So Hurek fires a shot, instantly Miro peels off to go and deal with him. Seoul are in control of the point at the moment. They have control of the tempo. First pick on this gives them momentum. Of course, Widow versus Widow also has a gamble function to it.
Welcome to Overwatch.
Hurek goes for it. Hey, Boobly.
4 months EA. Halfway to Twitch baby.
Halfway to Twitch Babby. How is Babby formed? That's 4 hypes. Get him going. That's a big kill though, because now Hurek has a much more open field. Hurek can do a lot more. That said, Toby gets a res, so now, okay, has to slow down again. Fleder does manage to get a quick pick. Fleder gets 2 very quick picks in quick succession. Crucially, more importantly than anything, Nuss Valkyried. So there goes the Valk now. And then gets headshot. That's such a good shot. How girl get pregnant? How is Babby formed? It's one of the oldest internet memes in existence. Toby does use Valkyrie here himself, just to keep the team alive. Again, just well, not gambling, but upping the ante. Lana got some reses off, so hey, Toby's going to commit his ult. Knows that Guido will be online by the time this ult runs off. But hey, Hurek gets a pick. Ooh, now there's an opening, because hey, Bedosin's on the point and alive, and meanwhile, Guido's head is blown over 4 counties, so one team has trance, the other team doesn't. If they can get onto the point and get sort of close enough to the wall as well, the enemy Widow is not a threat. Fleder's dead anyway. We'll kill Fleder. Hurek found Fleder, so hey, they can stand where they like now, and they can just take the fight as they want. Nice. What do you think would happen if Jae-Hong was in this lineup? Nothing different. I really think, or not much different. Like, I don't, like, maybe they would have done a little bit better on Anubis, because it feels like Guido fucked up there a little bit and just held onto a Transcendence way too long, but I don't think that Guido, like, majorly fucked up in this series. I just think London had such a good game plan. So this was one of the statistics that really leapt out at me. I'll just read it rather than... Actually, I'll just read it. So, Zenyatta, greater than Tracer. Bedosin has killed Bunny 3 times this match. The Tracer player has failed to return the favor so far. That's bad. So Bedosin is just killing Bunny over and over and over and over again. And it really did feel like, as the series went on, I kind of was paying more and more attention to this, where it just feels like Bunny's just getting continually minimal results. I'm even curious about this pulse bomb onto the Diva. I think this was just an ejection pulse bomb. So if you time it right, it's Tracer. If you put a pulse bomb on the back of Diva's... No? So he's got a pulse bomb that killed Fury. I don't know, like, because we're on Prophet's cam. Like, I would like to see what Bunny's up to at this point, because, like, why is a pulse bomb killing a baby diva on 50 hit points? I'm assuming it was destined for someone else and he just missed. But it's like, Bunny is just being not as effective. He had a good showing on Numbani, but it just felt like throughout the series, especially towards the end of it, he was just being less effective overall than his counterparts in London.
Welcome to Overwatch, Monsilly.
I think that people are overestimating
OneAmongstMany have a
Ru
better
Jiahong.
understanding
Hey.
of the game than average players. Thanks for the great content.
You're more than welcome, Dominic Ox. Thanks for the 12 months. I hope that's true. I hope to God that's true. I try. Nice, let's see. Notice that Toby's staying back, damage jumping Fleta, like the damage jump Widow, just scary. This is very, very careful. Hey, focuses on Fury. Just to like keep ramming home this difference though. Try and keep my eye on where Bunny is. Bunny's down here, and then he sort of trails off this way. Like, if this was London, London would just be hammering Fury. Like, why not just hammer Fury here? Zumba goes in for him, Mira goes in for him. Like, where's Bunny during all of this? The Tracer's DPS on a discorded Diva is going to be pretty huge. And, like, if everyone just tunnels him, he's going to die in no time at all. It feels like London sort of cracked this. And as a result, these tanks feel like they just got a lot of ground without really much response from Seoul, because Seoul is still focusing so hard on the supports, or on the DPS, or just on softer targets. Also, yes, during this match, the Mercies in particular were just spamming, my ultimate is charging, my ultimate is charging, my ultimate is charging, non-friggin' stop. It does, like, another pulse bomb on a tank, non-stop. Shaves off 100 hit points, sticks a bomb on, no problem. Done. Bish bash bosh, easy. Same game plan, every single time. Every time Miro pokes, it's like a bear exploring a beehive, and every time he pokes his nose in, it gets stung, and he just doesn't learn. It feels like at some point, like pattern recognition would have gone through. So Toby's activated ultimate here. Badosin has to use Transcendence. Notice that Badosin does use Transcendence in response to the Valkyrie. Shot lands on Guido. Guido panics a little bit, ults himself. Keeps himself alive. Hey, Zumba. Zumba remains a solid player. Like, do not take from the series that Seoul are somehow bad. A lot of people are, you know, like, oh, well, maybe Seoul are going to start losing now. I don't think so. I think London have been scrimming Seoul a hell of a lot, from what I've heard, and kind of have Seoul's number. And I don't think London were expecting results this good. Like, I tweeted out this scoreline because this is insane. Hey, play the game, nuss. I wish we got to see these more. It's just a boop. I know the reason why they don't show those is because, like, sometimes play the game is just massively disappointing. So this is where Soe came out and it's like, hey, why isn't Yu Jae-hong playing? And apparently Seoul say that they just thought that Guido has better results against London Spitfire. Like, in my mind, you just got to take him at the word on that. I mean, it's fun to be like the armchair coach, you know, like it's for why didn't they bring so and so on at this point at half time? What's the manager doing? Oh my god, this is the problem with us, and all they just try and walk it in. It's all that kind of stuff, right? But it's like, surely there's got to be a reason. There has to be a reason they didn't play Yu Jae-hong. It's strange having a support where you kind of have to train with your opponents. Yeah, it's how esports works. I mean, teams play friendlies all the time. in other sports. And I imagine, I have no idea how like a football team actually practices, but they usually just have like B teams that they practice against, so they kind of do what London are doing at the moment.
Welcome to Overwatch, mon chéri.
Hey, Segfault. Good to see you. Think you were around ages ago and haven't been back for a while, but it's good to have you back if you are who I'm thinking of. Sometimes it's hard to keep track and I apologize for that. I do try. I'm terrible at names though. I always forget people's names. But it's appreciated. Let's see. So, London Spitfire, run in the Hanzo. Hey, Hazard as well. Speaking of people who've been around ages, 16 months from Hazard. Jesus, that's 16 ohm hypes if you want to do it. I need to have like a consolidated ohm hype. Not like a 5. Like Roman numerals have like V instead of just going like I. So yeah. Anyway, running the this is just, I imagine this is just a scouting Hanzo. It's going to fire a Sonic Arrow, maybe fire a scatter somewhere, like climb up a wall, try and blow up a tank. Birdring's KD against Bunny. 7 kills, 0 deaths. Again. Statistical evidence against Bunny. Just having a bit of a tough time. Yeah, it feels like the traces on London Spitfire are just being so much more effective. Bunny had a good showing on Numbani, but after that, I don't know, he doesn't seem to have done anything. So yeah, I want to see what became of this Hanzo. I imagine he just climbed the wall, fired a scatter, and then went back to spawn. That's what should happen with Hanzos. That's where Hanzos belong. Meanwhile, London swapping to full dive. Notice that London aren't doing anything crazy. Like, nothing insane comes out of London here. They're not diving the high ground or anything like that. They're just fighting these tanks on the point. No one's diving up here. They're fighting everything down here. This is letting Seoul get a good stall. Hey, Bertrand set up very... Hello? Just like that. Like, this decision. This decision is fucking crazy to me as someone who plays Tracer. Okay, he's there. He's watching Toby. He's like, oh, that Mercy booty. Oh, yeah, hello. Oh, no, wait, she's gone. And instead of chasing the Mercy, I'm going to jump towards the Winston and attack Soldier 76. Like, that informs so much about how London are playing this, where it's like, yeah, we're not chasing the supports around all over the place, we're just engaging on stuff that we know we can hit and reach no problem. And if the supports are in our range, then sure, we'll go for it, because I think Prophet just went around the back there, and now they realise, hey, Gesture and Prophet can just both jump onto the support lineup, so no problem. Hey, Bunny deletes a tank, but it's already too late. So if I'm hands-on, I stay in spawn, does that mean I'm throwing or I'm actually being more helpful? It means you're making my blood pressure rise still, so swap to something else. Dragon Blade comes out instantly, but hey, Fled is there to delete it straight away. This is an interesting moment during the game, and to me this shows just how bullshit Valkyrie is. Okay. Bunny comes in, touches, stalls. Birdring, like, does a 360. I want to slow this down because I want to see what the fuck happened there. He does a 360 no-scope pulse bomb. I think he tried to blink 180 and throw it and just missed. Because he knows he's going to end up going through him here. Turns. Oh, it's actually pretty close. It's pretty close. Okay. There we go. Okay, so fighting happens. Prophet draws Dragon Blade. Closer activates ults. Further activates his ult. Tactical Visor is now running. Closer has to be ridiculously careful. He's probably staying behind the fountain or staying somewhere out of line of sight, because Soldier has, I've got you in my sights. So he has to stay tucked away, nice and safe. Waiting. Okay, now sights is done. Closer just flies out, reses 2 people. Hello, friggin' hell. Isn't this a balanced ultimate? The reason why I harp on this ultimate so much is because there are still people out there that think that the mercy nerfs were not warranted. Those people exist. They exist and they post in YouTube comments and post on Twitter. And it baffles me. It completely baffles me. Why is chat singing, hey, 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 I said, hey, what's going on? Meh. All I can do is a skeletal. Meh. And she prays. Oh my God, do I pray? Pray every single day. Damn, it's down my head. Thanks. Thanks, chat. Okay, right. Prophets managed to build up another Dragon Blade. That's sick, actually. I know they had quite a long fight after all the support ultimate cycle through. They had a big fight on the point, a lot of tanks being shot at, but Prophet's done a really good job building up this other ultimate. That's pretty fucking impressive. Fled has actually done a good job in building Visor up, but not quite as fast. There is a window of opportunity here, a big one for London Spitfire. This is exactly like you've done this just to distract me. Yeah. And this is one of those instances where London Spitfire can go for the backline because they have Dragon Blade and the backline has nothing that can help them survive. So they just dive the backline, kill it. And honestly, I think London Spitfire just went, okay, now we're just going to play more of a normal dive style. No problem. Why not? Time it takes for me to build a Dragon Blade is 10 minutes. I know how that feels. It's honestly a really important statistic for Genji players is how fast they build Dragon Blades and then what they do with them. Because if you can build Dragon Blades faster than the Zenyatta can sort of build up a Transcendence, then you sort of desync yourselves, and that's great. Fleder has Visor. Again, this is a big deal. Hagapen does not have his ult. How did Guido end up in this situation? He's just trying to get to high ground, bless him. Then Wu Yao just cuts him off and just goes, yep, rockets. Rockets. Missiles are good. Just rolls on through. And I think that, this is where the bat has been broken. You know? Seoul just now losing ground non-stop. London Spitfire are on a roll. They know they're on a roll. Seoul know that this is not going their way. And it feels like a little bit of crushed spirits coming through. The original song's not bad either. There's an original song? That isn't the original version? I mean, this isn't an official He-Man song. So, notice the game plan has changed for London. Previous game plan, they would have committed pretty hard to this, I suspect. If Miro jumps in like this, you would have just seen London peel back. Instead, now Closer just activates his ult. So now Closer can fly, he's fine. Hagapen doesn't have to ult himself, because if he dies, he's just going to get rezzed, so anything Miro does doesn't matter. Meanwhile, London Spitfire now going to the Seoul Dynasty's backline, kill Guido. And if this was happening non-stop, I think there would be merit in saying, why isn't Ryu Jae-hong playing? I think there will be a lot of merit in people saying, why isn't Ryu Jae-hong playing? Guido's just being dove over and over and over again, dying over and over and over again. Doesn't seem to be the case here. I think Fleder visored, and then Hagapen just used Trance. Fleder gets rezzed. Sights activates, Hagapen. Yep. Hagapen uses Trance. Cancelled. There we see Seoul trying. Oh my God, do they try? Try every single day. To be free of this institution? And they pray! For God's sake, it's just locked in my head. Oh no. Oh no. It's not a Poké Bomb. It would have been a Poké Bomb if it landed in the doorway. Would have been nice if it just detonated right here. That's the sweet spot, right in this doorway. Oh, baby. This is a difficult point to take, and honestly, London don't really have much in the tank. Where's that? Oh, no! Ooh! Juicy. Not again, still not quite a Poco Bomb. I think that could have been just a little bit differently. We broke Josh, you did. With a goddamn, like, early... I mean, being fair, if you're going to break me with anything, early 2000s memes are probably a good place to do it, because that's when I, like, started getting into the internet in a big way. So, you know, like, badger. Everyone loves Magical Trevor, because the tricks that he does are ever so clever. Oh, God. But, yeah, like, the sweet spot of the bomb, of course, is going to be, like, right here. Is Funera now doing Numa Numa? That better not be... No, is that...
Welcome
oh, God.
to Overwatch,
Thank you, Princess Salami. Thank you for distracting me from this hell. How did London win this fight? What the fuck? It's meant to be analysis. Serious analysis. There's a fight happening. What's happening in this fight? Solely using ultimates and not winning. How? How is this happening? Solar View's Transcendence. Wu Yao survives. Bombs. Gets back into mech. Nobody is dying. People on Seoul are dying. This is not how this is meant to be going at the moment, but Seoul just can't seem to kill anybody. Hagapen goes down. This is very good. This is when they should have won. And now it's just Zumba because people on the point go off chasing targets. Closer comes back from spawn during all this time. Prophet now builds up a Dragon Blade. There is nothing to stop him. He kills everyone and they win. Target focus does not seem to be going the way of Seoul. Now the dream would be, behind my head here, would be to see this. This would be an astonishing... I mean, this already, like, not counting this, like, this is already an astonishing result. This would be incredible. Like, beating Seoul in a close series would have been, hey, yeah, London, looking really good. Beating Seoul like this is just... how? What? Fires missiles. Oh, man. What's the difference between Hanzo and any consistent hero? One clowns wolves, the other clowns ranks. I like that. I like that a lot. No kills during transmit due to cover by the bomb. Even then, it's just like... a fight goes that long outside of your spawn, and they don't have defensive ultimates. You do. You expect to win that. Like, you should win that. Especially if you're Seoul Dynasty. Like, you're that level of players. You should be able to win this. So, Seoul, again, contrast and compare to what London were doing first time. Seoul dive towards the backline. Backline just peels back. That said, London Spitfire don't manage to stall on the payload at all. The payload rolls through this first street. 30 seconds. No problem. Nothing slowed them down here. So Seoul goes straight away to the second part of Dorado first. But now London Spitfire can slow down. Like, London Spitfire don't have a tracer or anything. They have the Widow and the Junkrat. So Widowmaker's just going to stay really far back. Junkrat just wants to be firing through this choke point. If they are playing something more like Widow Tracer, then maybe they can try and stall in this area more. Or Widow Soldier 76, Widow McCree. They'll probably be playing this space more. Because they have the Rat, it's no surprise to see them fall back. Just because this choke point's so good. Also makes it pretty hard to go into the back line to get to that Widowmaker. They're going to have to send Fleda all the way around. Toby. How has this happened? Wu Yao just goes for it, and like nothing is there to punish him, because this is a really nice read from Spitfire. Like, how's Birdring there as well? So, with this team comp, what I would be expecting out of hey! Oh my god. Daedric Toaster, what have you done? What have you done? Thank you for the tier 2 sub. I'm now bracing myself for the text-to-speech.
Here comes another Chinese earthquake.
Okay, it wasn't too bad. It didn't go, like, I do have, like, a spam limiter, so it cuts itself off somewhat, but holy shit. Okay. Speaking of old memes. No, right, what I would expect out of Seoul at the moment is to see Fleder going around to that side sort of wall and jumping up and trying to get prepared on that to try and put pressure onto Birdring on the Widowmaker. And Widowmaker will be set up back here, just firing shots through. Right? This is what you would expect. Instead, London Spitfire sort of reason, hey, Fleder's out of position, or people are out of position. For some reason, Guido's down here. Toby's now just fucking out on his own. Soul are trying to set up positioning, and Wuyao just goes, hey, Mercy's on her own over there. Let's just go kill her. And somehow Birdring gets over here. Like, why isn't there a Genji there killing him? Where is this Genji? Genji is hunting down and killing Prophet. Okay. Okay, now Hagapen has ended up in a relatively silly position and died. This is a mess. This is a mess that London Spitfire seem to be winning. It's very weird. I would love to have the aerial view during that and that minimap just to see where Seoul Dynasty's DPS went and what they were doing at the time. Yeah, that was an eat. The reason why I want to call that as an eat is because when you throw the bomb, so blink blink, you would expect to see an exclamation mark. Because there's no exclamation mark, it's a sign that I think the D.Va just ate it. What is payload? That's not really a matter of playing on the payload, that's just a matter of, like, again, efficient kills and, like, where people are positioned. Because I don't think Birdring should have been able to position where he got to. So support ults both come out at the same time, it's a little bit rough around the edges. Prophet does manage to get a kill with Riptire, no huge shocks there. But now, field is clear, Fleder draws Dragon Blade, can clean up. Like, once both of those late support ultimates come out and Fleder has had enough time to build up a Dragon Blade, the fight's kind of done. As long as Seoul Dynasty don't throw and don't do anything stupid, they could just use that Dragon Blade to win the fight, no problem. Miro's Winston is too aggro, he's really there to peel for supports. I'd say that, like, the thing here is that London Spitfire have changed how they are playing. Like, they are now playing way more gung-ho on supports. So suddenly it's all a bit weird. Like, previously they were just killing tanks non-stop, and now they are just killing, well, they've been killing supports pretty consistently. Fleder swaps off the Genji, wants to go for Widowmaker. This is if you want to take complete control of second point. There's a lot of ways of doing it. He is playing into Birdring. Birdring's waiting for him. Birdring is forcing, like, there's a very awkward moment, guys, when you're playing Widow, and you do a reload, and you can see their Widow, and you have to do this shit. And you have to do like a little, please, 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 please. Okay, now I've reloaded, because Widow has a long fucking reload. This is like prime opportunity. This is like textbook perfect dive, I would say. Like, this is the situation you want, right? There should have been a Venom Mine or something covering this pathway. Surely you would expect something covering this. Because, like, he could have gone for the stick here, doesn't. Instead, he just lets Miro push Prophet into him. So, like, there's no good place for Prophet to go here. And it's just textbook good dive. Meanwhile, though, London doing the same thing. So, during all of this, London have counter-dived. Counter-dove? Counter-doved? You get the idea. Almost feels like London are like, we won, let's have some silly fun. I wouldn't say that. I would not say that. I'd say London are just, like, the team lineup has changed, and now they're just playing a different style, according to the plan that they already had. I guarantee London wanted a 4-0. Like, London getting a 4-0, especially after losing to Boston, this is like a stamp of, hey, we want this. I imagine London, like, they'll probably say in press and stuff like that, oh yes, Boston played very well, and be very respectful in that kind of quiet Korean way that Koreans are. Very respectful. Boston played very well. They deserve the win, and I imagine it stung like hell. Really stung like hell. Even though Boston have gone on to like smash Valiant now and like look really good, it still probably stung a lot. London sending a statement. Yeah, I'm like this was, and I imagine London have been preparing for this match for a long time. Like this is if they were preparing for any one game, they were not preparing for Boston. They were preparing for this game. London doing a good job stalling, but it's still kind of all to unto no avail. Like it's just, especially if nothing's contesting Bunny. Bunny can just go and find targets and kill them off. Playing semi-carefully, spots out Birdring. Birdring survives this somehow. Even pulls the Mercy with him. Closer has ults. Again, just taking it steadily. Tank finally goes down. Birdring gets a kill, but like to me, this is where surely you use this bomb. I mean, that was a I saw this bomb go in. Like I remember watching this and hearing Prophet ult, and then you just sort of heard the Diva bomb go in, and it's just like, shit, he's dead, isn't he? The moment he tries to contest that, he's just done. Like, I'm just watching this going like, bomb someone for the love of God, just put it on a tank. Just put it on a tank. You would have built another one by now, your Tracer. I can't really think of a different reason to have Widow that far forward on point 1. The reason Widow was that far forward is because no one came over that side route. I guarantee you. What's the best way to do this? Let me go over here. So let me load up Dorado, actually, because like let's talk about this play. If I do this, I should pop up here. Hello. Oh, God, I know. It's so close to me. Just while I load up Overwatch very quickly. Because, like, I want to talk about this because it is kind of pertinent to sort of how a lot of first point Dorados go and how a lot of first point Dorados work. So, sort of taking the diversion, getting shunted away. Bit distracted, but whatever. Close that. There we go. Overwatch scene. Entering game. Play game browser. Create. Settings. Maps. Dorado is down here. Back, move. Done. Start. Okay. Tracer's hitbox should be made 50 times bigger, and Tracer should lose all of her abilities to move half a meter a minute. That's how people will be balancing if you listen to certain like it. People are very bitter about the fact that Tracer has had no balance changes, and I'm kind of always fascinated by that. I get it, it's frustrating. Tracer is very powerful. I think she might need a nerf, but there are some very bitter support players out there. And like, why isn't Tracer and Genji constantly nerfed? Right, so let's go here. Oh God, I'm not on screen. Most important part of the screen. Oh my God. Where's my face? How could you live without it? There we go. Okay, so I want to be here. Actually, let's park about here. So what we saw, right, was like Mercy was over here, Diva and Winston just dove on, and then you saw like Birdring pop up here and start shooting, and it's like, well, why is Birdring here? How does a Widowmaker get to here? Well, judging from how London were playing, I imagine most of their defense wanted to be like in this main courtyard area. They have the Junkrat, they can just spam down, no problem. So they probably want Birdring's Widowmaker up here, because that's just a really nice position. It's a little bit vulnerable though to Genji's coming this way. So what I imagine was happening was during all the time that they were repositioning over here, Birdring was probably somewhere back here, just watching this area like a hawk. Just watching for the Genji. Just preparing for it, because that's normally what you will see on these maps. And so what ended up happening was, hey, no one's coming over here? And so I assume the call was made of like, hey, yeah, there's like vulnerable supports, we might just engage on the supports. And so Birdring just, instead of just staying here and waiting for them to engage into it, just peels around and goes straight through. Hey! Oh, it's Gwen. It's Gwen with the one viewer host. Every single time, Gwen. Just want to confuse me for a second. But yeah, like just because nothing came up here, he just went, okay, well, fine. Then I'm just gonna like peel around, maybe get a cheeky pick, and then just back off. And so just because like nothing, so this is why I was super curious and to see like I would love to see the minimap view because I want to see what Prophet and not Prophet, what Fleder and Bunny were up to. They have to like because when we saw Fleder, when we finally see Fleder, he's engaging a Junkrat up here. So maybe he went like through this way and then tried to get into the back line. Or something, and then so as a result Lonnen just dove. But because we don't have the complete information, we don't get to see exactly what happened and exactly how that went. It's very, very weird. I think this is the third time or something when Josh thinks I'm a support man. I have said no comment directly at you.
Welcome to Overwatch, mon chéri.
Nothing was meant to be. There we go, see Gwen. There's a proper shout out. Gwen Dead Out. Welcome on board. Then get this support, mate. You're very appreciated. So yeah, it's an interesting one. Like this is where I would love to have those overhead views. This is where like a full replay client would be amazing because I would love to be able to see all of these plays. And we only get to see snippets, but it was a very interesting decision. It was very well spotted and executed by London to just say, hey, Mercy's over there all on her own, and just have like both tanks just engage. Very, very well played by those guys. Okay, let's go back to this screen. There we go, back to it. No offense taken. I'm a support main, so... Or I was a support main. I suppose I still am a support main. I will need to do placements on Ohm. I might try and do them tomorrow, we'll see. Now that I don't have to play Mercy anymore. So again, holds onto the bomb, gets the stick! Beautiful stick. Again, just feels a bit slow though. Like, if I had to say anything about that play, it took... Like, he just waited so long to guarantee the stick, and during this, like, he's got the bomb. Transcendence goes off, so he's never going to gun him down at this point. And then waits, gets the stick. Okay, nice, you got the stick. But it just felt like that took so long, and during that time, now London have killed 2 people. So Semler calls it out as like perfect play from Bunny, but not quite. Miro with a 20-player kill streak. This must be unusual for Miro now. He's feeling good. He's feeling like he's immortal. We understand Yoshi miss Anna. I do miss Anna, but she's not very good at the moment, so I have to play Zen. I like playing Zen. I just hate playing Mercy, and I'm bad at playing Mercy. I want to avoid playing Mercy at all costs, so... Like, my Mercy is actively bad. You are very likely... If I am playing Mercy on your team, you are very likely to lose. This fight's going long, and it's going in Seoul's favor at the moment. Closest has activated Valkyrie. Prophet's activated Dragonblade. That's bad. That's bad for Seoul, I should clarify. Like, Fleder had a window there, and never managed to take it, unfortunately. I overestimated what London had in the back pocket. Prophet comes in with a save. What's your win rate on Mercy? I would say sub 30%. It is bad. I am a very aggressive player, and I am a very active player in Overwatch. I cannot play Mercy well anymore. I am way too... Like, I want to get involved and do things too much. I just felt like Toby's Valkyries was super weird in this match. He activates it super late constantly. Not something I've noticed actively, but I'll try and keep an eye. I mean, there's 40 seconds left, so he probably might get one. Still an interesting thing. So dive the support, they get the ultimate. This is setting up for Fleder's Dragonblade, so this is good observing, by the way. This is like, this is a sign that someone who knows Overwatch is doing the observing, because they know what the play is. The play is, dive Hagopen, get Transcendence, okay, now Dragonblade after Trance is done. There we go. Fleder kills everyone, hopefully. Unfortunately, Prophet has got another what the fuck? Profit, hello? How? That's sick. That's actually disgusting. Okay, during this fight back here. Where I was like, oh, Seoul actually have a chance here because they're going to have a Dragon Blade and London don't have any ults. Oh, wait, no, Profit's just killed everyone. Profit Dragon Blades, 1 minute 35. Profit activates Dragon Blade. Okay? Kills 2 people. Great. Fight, job done for Profit. Very nicely done, Profit. 1%, 2%, winning, 6%. This is the danger, by the way, if you let a fight just run on, like a losing fight run on, is that Profit will just generate ultimate charge out of his ass because like the tanks are staying in for some reason. So all the ultimate, so it basically recoups their losses that much quicker. Profit's already on 50%. Like Seoul just needed, like once Profit got those 2 kills and Seoul don't have a good answer for that, they just need to back the fuck out. Because this is disgusting. Because that means Fled has just got 2 Dragon Blades by the time, sorry, Profit's got 2 Dragon Blades by the time Fled has used 1. I think it's because Toby was resing people and already lost fight. I think, well, didn't they wait to Dragon Blade until after? So it's like, sure, the play's set up, but it's bought enough time for Spitfire to get, like, Profit's got this ult. And so now you've got 2 Genji slashing stuff up. But one has spawned really close, and crucially, Closer is going to come out of spawn and press Q if it starts going badly. If it starts going badly. Starts going badly, Closer is now running his perky little mercy bum out of spawn, and even if he needs it, he can press Q and start flying around and picking people up who are dead. That was sick by Profit to do that much damage to build that Dragon Blade that fast, but also kind of shoddy from Seoul to not, like, these are the wages of like a not a efficient disengage. So yeah, right now needs Guardian Angel. Yeah, that would be amazing. Get behind me. I mean, he kind of does it in the cinematics where he like just charges in front of people and like blocks. It'd be amazing. Amazing. Imagine if he just zips around teams. When he does it, it has the ability of charge. Yeah, exactly. Like if you use Guardian charge to a Winston on the backline and you just charge through a team, it counts as a charge and you pin people. Amazing. Just envision it. And if you do it to a Pharah, you just rocket to the goddamn moon and end up on the Horizon Lunar Colony. Feels pretty bad, man. Yeah, it's like this series was unexpected, I think is how I'm going to phrase it. It's just very unexpected. Because we knew London were good. We knew London were very good, but after sort of losing to Boston, it's like, okay, well maybe this is weird. Like, how did they lose to Boston? What happened there? This doesn't seem right. London are meant to be one of the best teams. How? Why would you do this? So yeah, that was kind of a shocker. But yeah, it just feels like London came up with sort of an unorthodox strategy. They played rushdown style. Like, I'm glad that they sort of demonstrated that, hey, yeah, you don't, like, when you're playing dive, you don't necessarily just have to go for the backline. There are options available, especially with, like, immobile tanks like Orisa. If you have a Zenyatta Orb, especially on the target, and you just get into them, notice, especially, like, I want to highlight Temple of Anubis, I think, just as, like, the best example of this. Where it's like the first couple of pushes go wrong very quickly, but the moment that they get mirror off that high ground, it all starts going a lot better. So let's jump forward. So they're all up here and they're fine. This Twitch player just freaks out a little bit. The first couple of pushes don't really go super well. Let's try and let this buffer a little bit. Right, 2 times speed Overwatch. This is the patrician way of watching Overwatch because you can digest it that much faster. Oh, look, amazing. And it's like Seoul holding in a really strong position. It's really hard to do anything about them. They're on that high ground. It's really scary. Can't dive into it. If you try and jump into it, you eat grenades like crazy. It's really, really scary. Name the best Korean team. It's got to be London Spitfire at this point. I'm looking forward to Fusion vs Uprising. Fusion vs Uprising should be good. I mean, it's like match of the dive teams. Again, tries to dive in, Flat Up just bounces them off. Profit charges into a bomb. And then, for some reason, during this, Mirror Ops drop down, and I think this is where the drop down happens. Okay, the player cannot handle 2 times speed. Yeah, it's like the play gets very fragmented. And yeah, Miro drops down to the point to try and contest the point. And I think that was the mistake. Like, this was what really cost them a lot. Because now that Miro is, like, easier to reach, like, the dive doesn't have to, like, you don't have to, like, set up a 2-step dive. Because to get to sort of the back line, to get to up here, you have to, like, either position, like, over here or here or here to be able to reach up here safely. You don't have to do that when they're here. They can just do it in a single jump. Costa and OXD have NYXL as the best Korean team. It's debatable between the two. I'd argue by results, NYXL probably are the best. But after seeing this, I say London Spitfire probably a little bit stronger. And especially after watching NYXL, NYXL versus Dallas didn't look as clean as I would hope. So I think there's hope. And so, yeah, like, the moment that they have this target available to them, the moment they have Miro available to them, they just all pounce on Miro, just kill Miro. And from there, it just all sort of starts falling apart. And then when they start getting to the defense, it's just, again, every single time the tanks jump in, they just annihilate the tanks time and time again. Really, really interesting. Otherwise, yeah, next week. Let's look at next week's schedule. OverwatchLeague.com/schedule. What do we got next week? Let's bring that across. So, week 5... playoffs coming soon. Prize pool. Oh, that's a lot of money. It's a good chunk of change. Stage 1 title matches. So, we've got Shanghai Dragons versus Dallas Fuel. You'd expect Dallas Fuel to win that one. Like, sorry, I don't know, my hat's disappearing. But Shanghai Dragons has kind of been a freebie, and I'd be like, it would be a very, very, very bad sign for Dallas. The thing I'll say about Dallas is they always look, at the start of a series, they always look just slightly worse than their opponent, and then by the time they reach the end of the series, they're just getting smashed. Shock versus Gladiators, I suspect that'll be Gladiators. Shock, I don't know, Shock just lack a magic to me. They just lack... I don't know. They just seem to be weak compared to the other teams. Gladiators like have this explosiveness about them. They also have some really good support players, so I quite like that about the Gladiators. Valiant versus Dynasty. This should be a cracker of a match. Valiant probably going to want to prove something after last time. That said, when they were playing Boston, one of the tidbits was that Silk Thread was out sick. How much of an effect that has, I couldn't say exactly. Because, like, I would rate that Silk Thread and Agilities aren't that far apart, but they do have very different playstyles. So, and it's also like a map thing as well. Like, if Silk Thread was practicing for certain maps and Agilities wasn't, then suddenly that gets very difficult, and it kind of explains why they lost a bit. But we'll see. I mean, you wouldn't expect it. I would not still expect a 4-0. So I hope to see better out of Valiant. Like, this should be a good match. Fusion versus Boston should be an excellent match. This is like two very aggressive, divey teams. I suspect Fusion will win it. I rate Shadowburn and Carpe better than Dreamcast Spirits. So yeah, but Boston are the team of upsets. They're the team of dreams. Mayhem versus Excelsior. I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing Mayhem's wacky ass intro, but beyond that, this is going to be a stomp, I think. And then Spitfire versus Outlaws should be good, but Outlaws have got like 2 players are now sick. Lynxer is out, and Medikusai is out with wisdom tooth issues. If Lynx is still sick, then that's really bad for Outlaws. I think they will get stomped without Lynxer. Gladiators versus Fuel. That could be a close one. Like, that shouldn't be the case, but that could be a really close one. I hope to see Fuel win that. Like, I hope this is the road to recovery. I think Fuel should have they've just written off this first half. They've gone back to playing the old Envious lineup and just sticking with that. So we'll see. Dynasty versus Shock, that's just Dynasty all the way. Valiant all the way on the next one. NYXL versus Spitfire, that should be an amazing game. Hard to call. Like, my heart says Spitfire, but we'll see, basically. I think they are playing for pride at that point. Assuming Spitfire beat Houston, then I think Spitfire are guaranteed in playoffs, so this should be okay. Houston Outlaws versus Uprising, that should be Houston. The Mayhem versus Fusion could be okay, but I imagine Fusion will still win that one. Mayhem have a good anti-dive, though, so should be interesting to see. That one could be where Mayhem strike back a little bit, because Fusion are like very, very readable. You know what they're going to be doing. Few looked 100 times better against NYXL this weekend. Sort of. I have a bone to pick with that. Okay, two things actually with that one. I'll tell you what. Let's load that up very quickly. Because I want to show you guys something that happened during that series that just annoyed the shit out of me. Okay, so... Actually, don't have to go to this screen. I can just show you this screen, I think. You're not going to see anything. Where is it? Fuel versus Excelsior. Actually, map number... There we go. Let's go to this one. So, this is the game on Anubis between NYXL and against Dallas. I think on the first push, Dallas like smashed them on the first push. Just really, really nice execution. Low ground start from NYXL, I believe, and like Dallas get a really, really good first attack. Second attack, the defense goes okay, and then it all falls apart. And this is sort of the big concern about Dallas. So this is our second defense. We want Dallas' second attack. Because this fucking hurt to watch. Back further still, but you get an idea of what's happening. So during... There we go. So during this... Oh, let me put myself back on screen so you can see me. So it feels like... Oh, no. There we go. I'm back. So this is... So this series now, basically NYXL have equalized. They had very little time to do it, but they managed to do it in overtime. With an overtime push, they managed to put the score at 4. Dallas have a lot of time left over in the time bank. Should be pretty good. And then you are about to see the clowniest shit I think I've ever seen in a pro-level Overwatch game, where it's just like people just don't learn from the same mistakes over and over and over again. And this drove me goddamn insane. So, nothing too unorthodox in terms of team lineups. Crucially, the big thing to focus on is Mano and Meko. Ball and chain combos, all day, every day. Mickey takes a pounding from the Widowmaker for no clear reason. ABLB is now on 60% charge. I'm not sure why Mickey stayed there. He wasn't trapped or anything, I believe. No, he's just there, just trying to catch some bullets, maybe trying to catch a ball and chain, but surely he can do that from the side, so okay. They've just charged the shit out of Sabiolbi. They know where he is, at least, but he's kind of safe. Time Move's playing patiently, patient. Pokes out. Engagement is super slow. Super slow. They engage. Libero blows up Mickey. Winston still hasn't engaged. Bubble is at the choke for some reason. Okay. First push goes badly. Okay, whatever. Mickey gets blown up. Okay, now Sabiolbi's just killed 2 people. Okay, now trying to take damage to charged chips. Maybe, I suppose. Not a bad reason. But then this clowny shit starts happening. Okay? Ball and chain. Coco pokes around the corner. Meko just hooks him. Shitload of damage. Hey, Chips is gonna have Valkyrie. That's gonna mean a lot. Oh, look, it's happened again. Somehow Meko's got this hook. I imagine that is another ball and chain. Now they don't have a diva. That's really, really bad. Oh, look, they can't stop this happening. Coco is too close to the corner. Coco dies. And it's just like, wait, how did you, after the first time this happened, how did you not realize that this is going to happen again and again? Oh, look, now they're just pushing forward and they're just going to exploit the shit out of this because there's no diva. And it's just like, how... Mano and Meko have just bought for their team tons and tons and tons of time. For what? Like, at no cost? At all? At all? Hello? Winston dives in, Valk goes off. Harry Hook dies instantly. Hey, good pulse bomb as well. Sabiolbi's dead. Nice. We have a start to this push. So that nice early advantage they got, the clock's already burned down. And it was just watching them, the same mistake over and over and over and over again. And it's just like, guys, come on, please. Just please stop dying to this. It works out in the end, but it's just, man. Oh, man. Fuel fans. Dallas Fuel still have fans. Bless them. They're a durable bunch. It will pay off at some point. At some point, Dallas Fuel will be good. They'll be as good as what was promised. This is a team with a lot of potential. They have a lot of good players. They should be okay. Aren't committing Valk to this fight paying me so much? Yeah, it's kind of like, why as well? There's issues. There's issues on both sides, but man, Dallas break my heart time and again. Taimu was very upset. The issue I have with Taimu at the moment is that he could be putting too much on his own shoulders. Like after most games, Taimu says, "Man, I played so badly. I played terribly," and it's like Taimu's one of the best players on their team consistently. So I'd be a little bit worried about like Taimu's nerve getting broken or something, because that could be bad. And to me, especially like the combination of Taimu and Effect, where Effect seems to be kind of like I don't know, it just strikes me as a little bit of a tilter. That could really like break Taimu's confidence, and I think if that happens, that's gonna really hurt this team. Effect's really good. Taimu's really good. Like, their DPS on Dallas Fuel, I think, is superb, especially this DPS lineup, like the DPS lineup they're running now. But man, they have to be careful with the confidence of the team. So that kind of stuff is common finish thing. Yeah, I know Finns are kind of depressive as well, but is coaching Dallas Fuel's biggest problem? I wouldn't say so. Kai is generally regarded as being a good coach, and I'm willing to sort of give him the benefit of the doubt. One of the big things as well is that I've heard that Dallas Fuel are like doing like they're trying to just refine their play a lot at the moment, and just trying to like really knuckle down on problems. They basically said stage 1 we're just kind of doing a write-off, and we're just trying to improve as much as possible. So that's where we're trying to learn. But yeah. Thoughts on the AKM pickup? Seems to be an even further overlap of roles. Yeah, that was a weird one. Like, AKM is to me, AKM is a player primarily. You would have AKM for like McCree and for Widowmaker. That's sort of what AKM is burned into my brain as. So to see him coming in, it's like, well, what's Taimu gonna do? Play Junkrat and Roadhog, maybe? But Mickey's been learning Roadhog. Like, Mickey's the off-tank. Why isn't Taimu... And like, Taimu's a good Widowmaker. Taimu's a good McCree as well. Taimu's a good Roadhog. He's a good flex player in general. So it's like, surely... I don't know. It just seems very strange. Just seems very, very strange. But yeah, that's probably going to be it for tonight. Just going to wrap it up early because I am feeling rather exhausted. So yeah. WTF, when is the game? If you've come here to actually watch a match of Overwatch, you're in the wrong place. This is where we are doing VOD reviews of Overwatch, friend. But, yeah, I'm probably going to call it there. Thank you so much, though, for the support today. Hopefully it was informative, talking through, what do you call it? London versus Seoul. It was just an interesting look at, like, tactics and different tactics the teams were running. I want Shanghai to win more games. I want Shanghai to win a game. Everyone's kind of rallying behind Shanghai. They are the underdogs. The underdogs, bless them. No, Overwatch League starts in